Okay, help me here. Why do guys that I'm interested in end up not wanting to pursue me? And then guys that I'm not interested in pursue me and pursue me hard and do not give up? Please make it make sense.
There's a very simple explanation, madam, and that is that you go out of your way to chase the unavailable men. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Nothing new under the sun. These women, guys, are repeating the same stories day after day, and it all boils down to just pick better men. But they wouldn't, and this is why we're here, guys. We're here to discuss dating. We have our TikToks lined up. We have our article stories. So if you enjoy the content, gentlemen, please like and subscribe so this content can reach more men. I hope you're having a good day. But now, guys, let's continue with our video as we have this young, attractive woman who is going to explain us why she's single. Let's have a listen.
So call me crazy, but I actually love the question, why are you single? Because then it gives me an opportunity to explain exactly why I'm single, and what better way to celebrate Valentine's Day than sharing this with the internet. Let's get into it, shall we?
Okay, guys, are you ready? So you see this woman, young, attractive, long hair, you know, very good looking woman, and everybody has in their mind the question, how can an attractive woman like you, who probably has over 1,000 options in a single year, be single? Have you been locked away in a tower by an evil wizard? Have you been kidnapped for the last 20 years? Like, what's happening? Well, let's see, guys. She's going to explain.
I am single because about 6 months ago, I reconnected with a guy that I had gone to high school with. We weren't friends particularly. We were on the edges of each other's social circles, lots of mutual friends, had never heard anything bad about him, whatever. I was under the impression he was married. He's like, no, I've been divorced for 8 months. I'm like, okay, things progress. He asked me to go on a date. We go on a date. Date's great. Really good vibes. We get along really well. I'm like, wow, I can't believe we were never close in high school. And I can't believe I didn't really know you. Whatever. Feels like known you forever. Blah, blah, blah. The old song and dance. Ew, gross. So anyways, towards the end of the date, he wants to talk about his divorce. And I'm like, hey, I'm happy to hear you out with whatever you want to tell me, but I really only care about one thing. What stage of the divorce process are you in? Because I know for a fact that divorces are often long and messy and drawn out and whatever.
Guys, before she continues with this divorce story, I'm going to do a bit of a lyrical interpretation of the story here. The reason why I think in high school they never got to know each other was because probably at around that time this woman was attractive and was like one of the most attractive girls in class or things like that, while the man still hadn't built up. You know, he didn't have the same jacked up body that he currently maybe possesses, or he didn't have as much money or status, you know. It's true that a lot of these women, guys, they dismiss men when they're in high school because they still don't have their game together, and then years later they see them like, hey, you've been doing really well. You know, so that's my interpretation.
I just want to know if, you know, this goes forward between us, what I'm working with. Am I going to have to help you prepare for court? Like, are you signed, sealed, and delivered, done? Are you just starting? Are you guys separated? Like, that's the only thing I care about, because that's the only thing that impacts me. What happened behind closed doors in your marriage? Not my business. I don't care. So he tells me, I totally get it. I want to be transparent with you. We're officially divorced. We can only contact each other through our lawyers. I signed the papers 8 months ago. It's officially done and dusted. And I'm like, great, sounds good. Like I said, I've known this guy for 15 years. I have no reason to question him. So sure, fine by me. The first month that we're together is quite literally perfect. He's doing super nice things for me. He meets my family. They get along super well. He told me he loves me. He wants to get an apartment near mine. Perfect. Sure. No complaints. As Kylie Jenner famously said, it's the year of realizing things. And unfortunately, September was the month of realizing things for me. He was very consistent in everything that he told me, but what he was saying to me was very inconsistent with what little I know about divorce. I don't know a whole lot. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert, but I am a barred attorney in the state of California, and you have to take family law as part of your bar prep. And what do you learn about in family law? Divorce. What is the fundamental principle of divorce? You gotta divide the assets. My year that I took the bar exam, that was one of the essay questions. So why was this man telling me that his ex-wife still had access to his bank account, that his car situation was not sorted, this, that, and the other? I'm just sitting there like, what is going on? What
Before she continues, guys, she mentions that she's an attorney, and something that pops in my mind as a question is, how do a lot of these feminists who know law still be feminists? You know, not saying that this woman is, but I have this female friend. She's a feminist to the core, and she works in psychology, dealing with children post-divorce. So it's like, and she even told me, oh yeah, like 90% of women get the children. She told me something I already knew, but she confirmed, if women don't do hard substances, they are probably getting the kids. And I'm like, wait a minute, you are the one who believes in, you know, a society that is patriarchal, built for men to succeed. Doesn't it strike you how women have absolute power when it comes to divorce? Like, it's mind-boggling how these women can at the same time be feminists and also be very in touch with the power dynamics that women have when it comes to divorce and children. It's crazy.
shit kind of divorce lawyer did you have? So unfortunately for this man, I had the lethal combination of being absolutely insane, having incredible attention to detail, and also a photographic memory. And even worse, I have a best friend who's probably crazier than I am. And we love a research project. So we are going back and forth, different theories, spitballing, whatever, and we land on, what if he's not actually divorced? How do we prove it? We proved it. What this man failed to consider is that initiating a divorce process, except in very limited circumstances, is public information. And while the underlying filings and things like that may not be, you know it is public. The docket entry on the court's website saying that a separation or a divorce has been initiated. And you know what we didn't find? In any of the 50 states or territories of the United States of America, any record whatsoever that this man had started a divorce process. None. Nothing. Not even a little bit. Nope. Not even a little bit. So what did I do? Once I had this information, I confronted him. He wouldn't pick up my calls. He wouldn't come see me. He stole my suitcase. And here we are. Now he's dating another girl from my town who's quite a bit younger than I am. They started dating 2 weeks after I broke up with him. 2 weeks. All that is to say, a girl not in the varsity league of being insane like I am would probably have never figured that out. He should have stayed in the JV leagues. Maybe even toddler t-ball. Good luck. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, so now you get it, you know? We were all wondering, how is such an attractive woman single? Well, now you know, guys. Because this one bad boy, this one guy, treated her poorly. You see, and that's why she's single at 30 and hitting the wall. Now, let me just say, guys, that the men who can allow to do this, to be married, then be with one girl, then be with another girl within 2 weeks, are very few and far between, alright? The average man cannot have even 2 women lined up. This is the average man. Especially a woman of, let's say, her caliber. I consider this woman to be very attractive. She's also young. A man to even be with such a woman, guys, this is probably a woman that doesn't date beneath 6'2", that doesn't date men beneath a 9, you know, or below a 9. So you get the sort of man that this guy is, right? And apparently this is why she's single, right? Because there are apparently no average men that this woman knows of. There are no attractive men with good morals. This woman doesn't know any. She just knows 6'2" guys who are 9 out of 10s, who all happen to be cheaters, cheating on their wife. You know? Damn, what a coincidence. Maybe there's a state in America, haven't been there. Maybe there's a state with a concentration of these guys, when they all live there and she happens to live there as well. I don't know, guys. Like, you try to explain to me how such a young woman, who also happens to be very attractive, somehow doesn't have enough options and she keeps jumping from one bad boy to another. You tell me, because the narrative doesn't add up, if you ask me, I'm a little detective. But now, guys, let's move on to another rage bait video.
Day in the life of a woman with extremely high standards. I'm 32 years old and I'm on a mission to enjoy every possible moment of my life, and for me that means abstaining from men and children because, in my experience, these things tend to make life a lot harder for women. Don't worry, I know this is very unattractive to most men, and it probably means that none of them will ever want me because I'm too old and undesirable to fulfill my life's purpose of helping a man continue his bloodline and legacy of porn and video game addiction.
No, yeah, it's very unattractive. You're absolutely disgusting for any man who takes himself seriously. Like, before you even walk in the door, you're already saying, nah, I don't want to do the work. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do anything for you. I don't want to do anything that makes my life harder. I just want to benefit. It's disgusting. You're a parasite by definition, And of course, if a man were to do the same, if a man were to pop out and say, oh, I don't want to do the work. I don't want to work. I don't want to provide money. I don't want to pay the bills. I just want to benefit from this relationship. I just want to get S3X without having to provide anything in return. If a man were to say that, not a single woman on earth will date him, right? But then when you say it, somehow again, we are the bad ones because we expect you to move your little finger in a relationship. Get out of here.
I think this is supposed to send me into despair, but luckily it's been quite the opposite. With all my free time and free will, I decided to book a one-way business class flight to escape the Canadian winter, explore some new countries in Asia, and return to some of my favorites. I can't always afford to fly business class, but when I find a good deal, I think of all the money and time I'll save on going 50-50 with a man who does 10% of the emotional and physical labor and say, fuck it, I'm worth it. This was my first time flying Etihad Airways, a 20-hour flight from Toronto to Mumbai with a stopover in Abu Dhabi, and it cost around $3,200. With points from my Amex Business Platinum card, I was able to get it for around $2,800, which was so worth it. The goal for this trip is to experience new cultures, delicious food, and meet and hopefully inspire other women to live their best single lives along the way.
Oh, good for you. Good for you, I personally don't have anything wrong with this. I have something against the cultural narrative of women waiting until they are 45 to start a family. But when it comes to individuals, guys, I have no problem. I think that neither me nor you, nor any man for that matter, wants this woman to have children. No, please, spare the world of some little brainwashed feminists, Don't marry. No, nobody wants you to marry. Nobody wants to marry you, for that matter. So you keep being single, all you want. But have at you. I'm gonna check back on you when you are 50. Now, guys, let's move on to the last one that is titled Men Have Always Hated Us. Let's have a listen.
I see so many women younger than me on this app wrestling with the fact that men are badly behaved, they're getting worse, they're misogynistic, blah, 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 they're going backwards, la, la, la. As someone who's 109 years old, I want to tell you, nothing's changed. They've always fucking been like this. They're just actually saying it out loud now because people like Donald Trump and shows like MAFS give them a platform. And the worst thing that's ever happened is allowing men to have podcasts. Now you need a license for...
Whatever has Donald Trump done? Like, what has Donald Trump done to incentivize men to be misogynists? I don't know, guys, you tell me. I feel like these people will blame anything on Donald Trump. Oh, it's raining today. Had a picnic scheduled. Damn Donald Trump. It's his fault again.
Podcasts. Now you need a license for fucking a dog and shit. You should have one for men who want to be in groups and have podcasts. Seriously, they are... Some of those men that I'm seeing on here are just horrendous. But no, they're not getting worse. They're just fucking saying what they've always thought. I want you to remember that. I think that 97% of men hate women. And they hate us because they want us and they love us and they fucking need us and they fucking hate that. Why do you think so many men, when their wives leave them, repartner really quickly? And so many women don't after they leave their marriages.
It's literally the opposite. Guys, sometimes when I listen to these women, I feel like they're talking about a different planet, you know? And I'm some sort of extraterrestrial trying to map things out. Because what you're saying, that men move on really easily and really fast and women don't, it's literally the opposite. Like, what are you talking about? I really don't get it. In what world are these women living in?
Anyway, it's not news. It's just being said out loud. Boy.
So no, not all, 97% of men hate women, right? Which is why, I guess, you know, the reason for men building society and historically defending women and protecting them and having families with them. I guess it's also the reason why, like, 80% of pop culture is about love. You know, you have all the love stories, you have all the love movies, you have all the narrative tropes of saving the women and saving the princess and all that. It's because we hate them, you know? A very interesting way of thinking. But no, personally, guys, I hate modern women, and I'm not ashamed. There's no shame to my game. Yeah, I hate them. I hate their behavior. I hate how they are indoctrinated, because it's frustrating. You know, it's frustrating to not be able to connect with 50% of the world's population, more or less. So yeah, it's frustrating. I hate their behavior. I hate their stupid way of thinking, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you ladies also hate men. Like, let's not kid ourselves. You say that men have always hated us. You are the first one who hates on men, and probably in a way more deeper sense than we men. Because the difference, guys, between these feminists and men in general is that, as I mentioned, men hate certain behaviors. They don't hate women. They don't hate their mothers or their sisters or their female friends. I'm guessing most of you watching this right now have female friends. Nobody hates women per se. We hate their behaviors. By contrast, these women really do hate men. Notice how she says 97% of men are evil. They don't hate certain behaviors that could be explained socially, or, oh, it's just the times that we live in. No, they think that men are inherently evil. They think that men are like the apex predator of humankind. Yeah, they view us as a threat by default. But most of them are grapists, they will say, and pull up these statistics out of their ass that what was it, 1 in every 2 men is a rapist? Like, get out of here. So yeah, the real hater, guys, the real sexism exists, but it's not from men towards women. It's mostly from women towards men. But gentlemen, let's move on to 2 short articles. The first one being, I feel like most of the guys I meet see me as a placeholder. Alright, so we have 2 articles, one from the female perspective and one from the male. Let's analyze them. So this is from the female one. I don't know if it has to do with my age, 26. The majority of men I know, either romantic or platonically, have already had their first love, who left then for whatever reason, or cheated on them, or drifted away. Because women are bitches. That's why these things happen. I frequently feel like I'm one of the girls Ross dates in between seasons until he ends up with Rachel. I don't know who the hell those people are, nor do I care. Is it like Sex in the City, or one of these stereotypical things that women watch all the time? Or like, he's Jim, she's Pam, and I'm Karen. Alright, that one I do get. This is from The Office. Guys, branching off a bit, but Karen is better. I don't know how you feel about that, but I always thought that Karen is way better than Pam. I never really liked Pam that much. I also didn't like how she left her boyfriend, who I think was a good... That's another topic, but Karen way better. And also way more attractive. I wish Jim would have stayed with her. It's frustrating because I've already had experiences with men treating me horribly or dismissively, and then waxing lyrical about their mythical goddess ex who they can't stop bringing up. It could be 3, 4, 5 years, and they still go on about someone who broke up with them ages ago. Girls, have you experienced this? Guys, have you experienced this? Do girls do it too? Why do people go out and date when they're not over their ex? Well, gentlemen, I've said this in the past, but a lot of the men, if not most of the men who currently are bad boys and players, they started off as a humble man who genuinely just wanted love and a ride or die type of relationship. And then they've been cheated on. You know, they've tried to play this card of the old-fashioned gentleman, because you see, women just want to be loved and they want to be treated nice, and then you do that, you treat them nice, and they dump your ass for a bad boy. You know, so men adapt to the game. This one feels like a placeholder. Don't worry, men are placeholders. Not some of them, but like most of them, if not all of men, are placeholders. And if women actually paid more effort and attention to the early relationships, we wouldn't be so bad at dating. Dating wouldn't be such a crap hole right now, because it's true that most men, especially in their first relationship, they never want it to be broken. Men never use women as their first relationship, and they never treat them as placeholders. Like, men only adapt to the game women create, and women create it by dismissing guys constantly. Women want guys. I did a special video about this recently, about how women view men as ladders. Women want a boyfriend for every 2 years of their lives, because, oh, I change, my needs change, really their feelings change, all right? So they just want to accommodate a boyfriend into their lives. They want to serially date and keep increasing the quality, let's say, of their men. They want to keep upgrading it. But now, guys, let's see the male perspective. I don't think I'm cut out for dating. It's never just normal. It's always, oh, by the way, I still sleep with my ex sometimes. Or, oh, by the way, I'm seeing 6 other guys right now, so you'll have to wait until I can free up a spot for you. This is if you get lucky and they tell you, because most women won't, but this is what they do. They are sleeping with multiple people while they're dating you. They're talking to multiple people. They are, you know, just constantly... What was this thing where you throw like 5 balls in the air and you keep switching them? That's what they do, but with men. Juggling. Yeah, they're juggling men. Or, oh, by the way, I'm still technically married. These are all things I've heard from women over the past year, and I'm sick of it. It's so hard to find someone to even go on a first date, and then they always end up dropping something like this. Everyone tells me I got lucky, that I dodged those bullets, but I'm not lucky. I'm just alone. I see other people in relationships, so I know it's possible, but the most I've been able to get is a few dates with some really crummy people. This post has a lot of likes, so a lot of men relate to this. And this is what I said back a few minutes ago, that men don't hate women, they hate this. They hate women juggling men, they hate being side dishes, they hate women having so many options and getting lost in the many options that they have. This is what men hate. Nobody hates women themselves. And if women didn't do these behaviors, we wouldn't have a problem in the first place, right? But regarding what this man said, guys, now men and women have some common ground when it comes to bad dating experiences, but not very much, gentlemen, if I have to be honest with you. Mostly, yes, as women you may stumble upon bad apples, but here are the key differences. First off, women have options and men don't, for the most part. Like, if you take a 5 out of 10 men and a 5 out of 10 women, the one probably has like 20-fold more options or 30-fold more options. It's absurd, you know? So we men, we can relate to some of the bad stories that women share, like the one we just read. Oh, I'm a placeholder. I want a serious relationship, but men just use me. Well, then just don't go for men that are willing to use you. You know, there's the difference. This man sharing this story probably has no better options. He's swiping right on 600 profiles in order to get 6 women interested in him, and then he goes out on dates, and yeah, they are just women who are using him as a side dish. These are all his options. The options of this man is, do I want to be a side dish or do I want to be alone? Those are his options. In contrast, the woman has more options. Yes, even if you say most men in dating are crap, alright, I can buy that. But what I cannot buy is that all men are crap, because we're talking, guys, about hundreds, if not thousands of options, alright? I will never trust you that all of them are evil. So those are the key differences. But gentlemen, let me know what you think. Thank you for joining this episode and being with me and Ampu. Again, leave me your comments down below. How do you view all of this that we are discussing? And please like and subscribe if you want to help the channel. If you want to help the channel, you can also subscribe to my Patreon, where we do a bit of special videos and more desert guys for you. But now, thank you again. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Have a good one.